On the last exciting episode of AxoniusRex, we followed the story of a male human training with Hit for the Universe 6 entry into the Tournament of Power. Training above the Earth in space, they challenge each other and test their skills to try and become the best fighting duo for the upcoming tournament. It was then that in the middle of their training, they were interrupted by an evil clone Goku and an evil clone Vegeta. Why they arrived, no one knows, and who sent them, they have no idea. But now it's a 2-on-2 fight to the death. Using the combined sum of their training up to this point to fight off these two new incredibly powerful foes. After a vicious battle, Hit takes out clone Vegeta with a time-skip Molotov. Meanwhile, the female Saiyan and Broly have finished their fight, and Broly flies up after sensing their enormous ki. Just at the moment that Clone Goku caught our hero off guard, Broly flies up and starts to dismantle Clone Goku. Unleashing his sadistic Super Saiyan rage, he takes out Clone Goku. That's not enough and he goes against Hit, but Hit fights back. Pushing himself to greater heights, now Broly is on a berserk rampage trying to fight off against these two incredibly strong fighters of Universe 6. After throwing away Hit, now it's the male human's time to fight off against this amped up post-training Broly. The prospect of the strongest fighters in Universe 6 fighting against each other and breaking teamwork is unacceptable to Champa, and he puts Broly in his place. The male human flies down to Konton City to tell the Supreme Kai of Time about the new clone threat, but something doesn't feel right because Konton City is very quiet. In Konton City, Dabura and Fuu put their dastardly plan into motion. The most powerful 8 supervillains drop down in a big ring around Konton City. Supervillain Jiren, Fusamasu, Broly, Omega Shenron, Kid Buu, Janemba, Golden Frieza and Perfect Cell, they all unleash their supervillain energy at the same time, releasing the demon Hirudegarn from his prison. The supervillains scatter around Konton City in preparation for the heroes coming back from their various battles. Omega Shenron spots his prey. Fighting off against the male human, he expects an easy victory but is surprised when he pushes back. Omega Shenron is just too powerful and he knocks our male human flying outside the realm of Konton City. With no distractions, the real fight is about to begin. Or so it would seem, as Nova Shenron drops down to fight off against the male human, while the despicable Ice Shenron sneaks up from behind and blinds him. Now these two brothers are about to tag team our male human, and he has very little hope of fighting back. Their combined teamwork works in perfect synergy, fire and ice working together. It is a combo that our male human is struggling to fight against and is getting pushed back from every attack. Our hero is getting completely overwhelmed by the combined power of these two incredibly strong shadow dragons. When all hope was lost, he is found by Hit and he enters the fight to give assistance. And now our hero's counterattack is about to begin. Now that he's in with a fighting chance of winning, they push back against the Shadow Dragons. Even though it's a 2-on-2 fight, they still have to work very hard to overcome these incredibly strong fighters. Nova and Ice Shenron are formidable opponents and put up a very decent fight against our hero and Hit from Universe 6. Slowly but surely and steadily, they start to turn the tables and overwhelm the Shadow Dragons. As the fight rages on and getting knocked around by Nova and Ice Shenron, it pushes them past their previous limits and they power up with pure progress. Hit follows suit and they attain a new level of strength they didn't before have. Capitalizing on a moment of weakness, our male human devastates Nova Shenron, defeating him where he stands and knocking him to the ground below. They quickly team up against Ice Shenron with a dual time-skip Molotov and end him for good. Omega Shenron's tricks are not over yet. The last 4 remaining Shadow Dragons appear before them in a big ring for a last climactic battle. Omega Shenron takes off for Konton City and the male human follows behind because Hit can handle this on his own. Using his new strength, it is time to fight off on a 4-on-1 battle. Showing off the power of his time skip, he teleports around the arena, taking out each of the Shadow Dragons with a single definitive strike. Sensing a battle is erupting, Marjube flies in to aid assistance to the hero in danger. Just at that moment, one of the Shadow Dragons catches Hit in a massive explosion, until is saved by Marjube, who takes out the Shadow Dragon with a Super Kamehameha. Marjube, Hit and the 3 remaining Shadow Dragons enter a violent battle to the death. The combined force of the Shadow Dragons is a force to be reckoned with, and shockwaves fly out in all directions. The Shadow Dragons' teamwork and cunning is not to be underestimated, and they put up a very decent fight against Hit and Marjube. Slowly they start to overwhelm the Shadow Dragons until victory appears nearer and nearer. As the dragons start to tire, they're easy pickings for the strength of Hit and Marjube, who take them out with one single ultimate attack each. One Shadow Dragon remains, and he is no match for the combined strength of Hit and Marjube. He is slammed down to the water by Hit and then finished off by Marjube. Meanwhile, in Konton City, Omega Shenron starts his fight against the male human. He fires off a minus energy powerball and it flies past him, almost hitting the female Saiyan until it's blocked by Broly. No one goes after his daughter, and now he's mad. Seeing Broly fly towards him, he doesn't want to fight him a second time, and he leaves him to Omega Shenron. Namekian is fighting off against Dabura in a one-on-one deathmatch above the Dragonball altar. Neither one of them misunderstands the situation. Only one of them will leave there alive. Staying in Kaioken and trying to outmatch and outmaneuver Dabura, he keeps getting caught off guard by Dabura's cunning and intellect. Throwing him away, he uses this opportunity to meditate and regain some strength. Dabura tries to sneak attack with a full power energy wave, and the male human flies in and absorbs the strength, pushing him to his new heights and attaining new power. Together they will defeat this villain. The Namekian rushes in and Dabura catches him off guard, but the male human is ready and slams him into the floor. Dabura now distracted, the Namekian launches his attack and slams into his back. Charging after him with Kaioken, he unleashes a devastating torrent of strikes and blows and sends him flying across Konton City. He batters Dabura relentlessly and sends him flying to the ground below. Dabura is unable to continue fighting. The Namekian has the perfect chance to destroy him for good. He will not be the murdering fire demon his father raised him to be. He goes to check on the battle below to see Hercule distracting Hirudegarn, luring him to the center of the city. He sees the female Majin and Majin Buu set up a counterattack against Hirudegarn. He sees all of the other heroes and mentors drop and fly in and launch their counterattack against Hirudegarn. For this battle, it would seem that neither of them are needed, and they take off and leave it in their hands. Once the dust has cleared, Zeno's guards and Zeno himself beam down into Konton City. With a wave of his finger, he erases down Hirudegarn and the defeated Dabura at the top of the Dragonball altar. He sets things back to the way they were before the demon Hirudegarn's resurrection and beams down into the center of the city. The time has come for Zeno to unleash his plans and tell everyone why he has come. The waiting is finally over. The 8 competing universes are about to coalesce in a massive multiversal tournament. They are about to enter the Tournament of Power. Let's take a look at the stat points. First for the QQ Bang, it's a direct mirror of what Chumpa's clothing used to be, given 5 in key, stamina and strike supers. There's no easy way to use this anymore, so you have to combine other pieces of clothing. The Super Soul is Leave the Rest to Me, which when you start the battle restores all your ki and gives you temporary ki auto recovery, and the Limit Burst gives you attack up, ki auto recovery, stamina recovery at the cost of your speed. Now for the attribute points, 125 will go into your strike supers for maximum damage, 84 will go into your stamina for 2 extra bars, 42 will go into your ki for 1 extra bar, and the rest you will dump into your health for maximum durability. Now let's go over partner customization. You'll be using Hit as your partner. You'll be using Health Type A for a ridiculous amount of health and basic attack, as well as strike super damage, also with a decent amount of ki reserves. The Super Soul is I'm over 1,000 years old, which when you do a perfect block will boost your strike supers by a large amount, and the Limit Burst gives you auto perfect block, not overpowered at all. The supers you'll use are Time Skip Backbreaker, Time Skip Flash Skewer, Meteor Crash and Flash Fist Crush, with the ultimates being dual Time Skip Molotov, Time Skip Molotov. Your Awoken skill will be Pure Progress, with the evasive being Time Skip Tremor Pulse. Now let's look at the super moves. Starting things off, he has Meditation to give him 10 full ki bars and add to his ki auto recovery that he already has as a male human, speeding up your innate ki auto recovery to give you lots of ki reserves in battle. Next is Sledgehammer, a move you can use after a stamina break to slam the enemy into the floor, dealing a decent amount of damage for a very quick move. Next is Gigantic Rage, a move that grabs the enemy by the foot and slams him into the floor. You can use this offensively normally during the battle, or when being attacked you can use 300 stamina by using an extra input to get super armor and then land the attack without being hit. Your next move is Drain Field, a move that absorbs every single ki, super and ultimate in the game to my knowledge. It will allow you to recover your ki dramatically after every single ki attack. Next, your Awoken skill is Potential Unleash for an even boost to all skills. Your first ultimate is Power Rush, a move that requires 10 ki bars used by Meditation that does an insane, ridiculous amount of damage that essentially one-shots the enemy that you can easily use after a vanish. If they have no stamina, they're going to be done very quickly. Next, your second ultimate is Dual Time Skip Molotov to team up with Hit and slam the enemy with a massive barrage of time skip attacks. You will need to be fighting with Hit, who also has this move equipped to be able to use it. You can also use another CAC, but I'd recommend Hit because it's part of the lore. And finally, your evasive is Time Skip Tremor Pulse to teleport behind the enemy with a time skip and land a quick swift kick to the kidneys and ribs. Very nice and satisfying when it lands. Now it's time for the damage test. First up, we have Gigantic Rage, which will Hulk the enemy into the floor, doing a pretty nice 3,984 damage. Sledgehammer done quickly does 2,656 damage, while fully charging it does 4,648 damage. Your first ultimate, Power Rush, will obliterate the enemy, doing a ridiculous 23,241 damage. Your full light combo chain will take a little while to hit, but it will do a pretty nice 2,977 damage. Your full heavy combo chain is a lot quicker and does 2,978 damage. Your full mixed combo chain is a lot quicker, very decent, does 4,171 damage. Here is the first super damage combo. We're going to be calling that It's Not Over Yet, utilizing a rush in mixed stamina break combination, followed by a fully charged Sledgehammer. Then you go down and find them on the floor and do a Gigantic Rage to do additional bit of damage, doing 8,632 damage. The next super damage combo is called the Brutalizer, utilizing a mostly light stamina break combination, followed by a 5 light, 3 heavy, straight into a Power Rush. That will do an unrelenting, ridiculous 28,480 damage. And finally, the last one is called Come Back Here, utilizing a mostly heavy mixed stamina break combination, followed by a full heavy combo chain, and catching them when they're flying away in a Power Rush. That will do an insulting, ridiculous, absolutely insane 31,461 damage. This has been my character build for my level 99 strike super based male human character. The clones have been destroyed, Dabura has been erased, Hirudegan is no more, and Fuu is nowhere to be seen. The Tournament of Power is incoming. What will happen? Who will be saved and who will be erased? Find out on the next exciting episode of AxoniusRex.